Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's 2018 as of today, and so I thought we'd do a 2017 year in review, so to speak. And this won't just be beauty related stuff. This is actually going to be my favorite look at television shows and movies and things like that that I experienced in 2017 as well. I'm going to put those later in the video so you can just watch the beauty related stuff if you want to, and I'll leave a timestamp in the description box if you'd like to skip ahead to the other stuff, so you can watch whatever segment of this video you'd like. So let's start with all the beauty related stuff that I experienced. There were some things that I did not enjoy. Chances are I no longer have those in my collection. But if I do, we'll certainly talk about them. And even if I don't, I might be able to insert a little photo as we go along, and we'll talk about them anyway. So we'll kind of just go category by category. Let's start with primers. I didn't try too many primers. I don't use primer that often. Here is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Primer. I don't know if there are different types of this because it does say 850 partners in prime, so I don't know if maybe it comes in different tints or something. This one comes out white, but it disappears. It blends in to be clear. It's supposed to refine pores, fill fine lines, brighten complexion, even skin tone. I don't know that it does any of that. I'll show you what kind of consistency it has here. So you pump a little bit out like that, and it's just kind of like a lotion. It's very, very thin. It doesn't feel silicone, even though there are a lot of silicones in here. First ingredient is water, and then the rest are basically silicones. Yeah, I don't find that this really does much. It doesn't really prolong the wear of any makeup. It doesn't feel like it fills in any fine lines or pores that I have. I'm 28, I do have fine lines, and I do have pores around, my nose. I don't feel like it really does much, so it was about $5, so it wasn't a huge spend, but still. This is the e.l.f. Hydrating Under Eye Primer. So it comes with a little pump, and again, I'm not sure that this really does much. So you're supposed to kind of put it under your eyes like a cream, like a hydrating cream. There are some good ingredients in here, but I find that it actually messes with the application of concealer more so than anything. I'd rather just put on a regular eye cream. So again, this is kind of a pass. This is a mini of the Tarte Brighter Days Highlighting Moisturizer. I tried this all over my face, and it does have almost too much of a sheen to wear it all over the face. It's almost a pinky pearlescent glow. I'll see if I can show you. So it comes out like this, and when you start blending it in, you could see on my hand here that it's not completely without pigment. And I don't know if you can tell, there's definitely a glow there, which I don't mind. But I don't want it all over my face, particularly in places where there are, redness and pigmentation. So I actually just use this on the tops of my cheekbones as a very subtle highlight. It kind of makes my skin look nice and healthy. So I use it like that, and that's why I still have a little bit of it left, because I'm not using it all over the face as a moisturizer, which, by the way, it doesn't moisturize all that well. So, yeah. And this is the e.l.f. Glitter Glue Primer, and what you use this for is you tap it on your lids and then use like a really glittery or shimmery eyeshadow, and this will help it adhere better to your skin, and this definitely does that. There are much more expensive versions of this, like for example Too Faced makes a glitter primer that's probably around $30 Canadian, and this is around $5, so yeah, it does the same thing. So definitely save your money and go for something like that. So still with the face, I've tried a few different foundations this year. The only one I have purchased in full sizes rather than getting samples are these two here. The first is the NYX Total Control Drop Foundation in the shade Pale. This is the lightest shade, and it is quite yellow. but somehow it doesn't look that off on me, even though I'm not extremely yellow toned. It's a pretty small bottle. You just shake it and then distribute the drops onto like a palette or even the back of your hand. I'm not fancy, so I just put it on my hand and then I kind of like take a drop, put it around. I do have a full review on this, so I'm not going to say too much. I'll just link the review below if you would like to see. And then this is the Water Me Please BB Naked Makeup Aqua Luster Concealer Roller BB Cream by Bisutang. Again, I have a complete review on this, so I won't talk about it too much. But this is a Korean BB cream that has like a little roller tip that you just kind of paint your face with. And this is, again, the lightest shade. There's only a couple of shades. But I find that this is a really good match for me, although this is way more pink than the NYX. And again, I'm not extremely pink toned either. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. But both of these work really well for me. I'm kind of wearing a mix of the two on my face right now. Concealers. I have two concealers here and I have a corrector. For concealers, the only concealers I've been using all year are the Lock-It concealers by Kat Von D. I have Whiteout and I have L1, which is the lightest skin tone shade that she offers. So Whiteout, I use this either to mix with things that are too dark. I use it all over the lid, just to like make shades brighter, or if I know I want something really, really white on my lid, I use it as a white eyeliner. Like there's a few different ways to use this. And then L1 I just use wherever I want. I use it under the eyes. I use it to spot conceal. It's what I'm wearing right now under my eyes and on my face. And it's my perfect skin tone match. I'm going to swatch these two side by side so you can see the difference. Because I know a lot of people are probably thinking, if you're really pale like I am, that, oh no, L1 is going to be too dark. Trust me, it's not going to be too dark. So here's a little swatch of two of them here. You can guess which is which, obviously. But when you start blending this one out, you can see it just disappears. It's very, very pale. So there I kind of have the two meeting in the middle. So yeah. Don't be afraid to try this shade. It's not going to be really dark. Trust me. After trying a bunch of dark concealers, this was the golden ticket. And this is a corrector. This is called No Dark Shadows Complexion Enhancer by No Cosmetics, which is a Canadian brand. This was just sent to me as part of the Chick Advisor, what was it, premium subscription. And so I think there are a few different shades, and I don't know what, like this is called the shade Wow, but I don't know if this is like shade 1, shade 2, shade 3, whatever. And so this is a corrector, and it's quite orange. I can use it as a corrector as long as I really blend it in and then put my concealer on top, but it's definitely very, very orange. I would prefer something lighter to correct with on my skin. And it does have a bit of a fragrance, actually. But it doesn't last for very long, so it doesn't bother me that much. I've got a few different powders here. One is the e.l.f. HD powder. This is the loose version, and this is in the shade Sheer. They do have a couple of different tints. This one is white, so if you have fairly dark skin, I'm not sure if this would show up on you. It doesn't show up on me even in flash photography. I have tested that. But, you know, you might want to be mindful of that if you are darker than me. And again, this is another white sort of silica powder. This is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD powder, just a deluxe size. And I find those to be pretty comparable. The e.l.f. HD powder is probably not quite as finely milled as the Makeup Forever one, but there's not a huge difference. So obviously the e.l.f. one is going to be much cheaper. And then finally, this is a deluxe size of the Kat Von D Lock-It Translucent Setting Powder. This one has more of a tint to it upon first glance than something like this, but it does go on translucent. It doesn't appear to add any color to my complexion. However, I find with this powder, I like it better on the actual face than, say, under my eyes. Under my eyes, it tends to disrupt my concealer and make it clump a little bit. That's just what I've noticed the few times I've tried it under there. Because I tend to crease quite easily under my eyes, even though my under eyes are a bit dry. But setting it with this, I just find that it kind of makes my concealer clump up and crease in weird ways. So it's fine on the face, just not under the eyes for me, personally. Finally, for face, we have blush. I have 3 here. Actually, that's not true. I have 4. I forgot I have 1 in my palette. This is the e.l.f. blush. I believe it's a highlighting blush in Candid Coral. And open it up. This is what it looks like. I'm not that fond of this blush. I'm trying to dig it off with my finger so you can kind of, can you see it? I don't know. See, the thing I find is that it hits hard pan quite easily. If you don't know what that means, it gets sealed over with oils from your face. And I find that quite strange though, because all you have to do is put a clean brush, a freshly washed brush, into this and it'll start sealing over with these weird bumps. And that shouldn't happen unless there's a lot of oil on the brush, and if it's freshly washed then there won't be any oil in there. So it's just kind of strange. It's hard to pick up product onto the brush and get it onto your face no matter what brush I use. It takes quite a while to build up the pigment. Like, it has a nice soft consistency, it's just hard to use. So I'm not really a big fan of this. This is another e.l.f. blush. This is a cream blush in Rose Royalty. I like this. This looks really natural. Again, you have to be kind of careful of it getting buildup on the top, but you can usually just kind of scrape it off a little bit, clean it up. I use a stippling brush with this and just stipple it on, and it usually looks just really pretty for natural days. And I've used it on my eyes before too, and that looks really nice. This is the Mariposa blush, no shade name. I can't find the shade name. And it's really, really vibrant, obviously, but it didn't go on that badly. Like, it wasn't too fully pigmented right from the start. I will say I tried to depot it and it started to crack, so don't do that if you buy one of these. Just let it be. Last blush I tried this year was one of the Tarte blushes. It came as part of the Sephora birthday gift. This is in the shade Party, or Party, because there's 3 A's. And I do really like that. I wear that a lot. I'm wearing it right now. It's just a really nice neutral color. However, it is very pale, so it probably won't work for every skin tone. Okay, let's do eyes next. So eyeshadow palettes, I've tried a few. Kat Von D products. Alchemist palette. I'm a big fan of this. I think it looks really nice on the eyes and the face. And actually it does look good on the lips too with certain lip products. Some people complain that the pans are quite small. However, I mean, I've had this for, I don't know, 6 months? And I'm only just noticing a small dent in a few of them. The blue one I don't use quite as often because I'm not a huge blue fanatic, but the other shades get quite a bit of use. And there's not a huge dent in them. A little bit goes a long way with these. They're really, really beautiful. And you'll probably have noticed that I've used them quite a bit in my tutorials. I'm trying to go through these quite quickly so that I don't have an enormous video for you. The Pastel Goth palette, which I've used quite a few times. I have actually made quite a dent in the white shade in particular. This is just a really beautiful bright palette. They're bright and yet subdued at the same time, hence the pastel. Again, I don't make as much use out of the blue shade because blue just doesn't look great on me. I try. Trust me, I try, but it's just not my favorite. But like all of these shades here, I make a lot of use out of. And of course the white. I do use the gray on occasion. And so that's usually the blue and the green that get a little bit left out. But it's a great palette. It sucks that it's limited edition. I know a lot of people want this, but maybe she'll end up bringing it back. I don't know. And of course, oh, the big one. The big holiday baby. Saint and Sinner palette, which I'm wearing it right now. I wear it almost every time I do my makeup. It's so beautiful. Yeah, I love this palette. It was totally worth it for me. I know it's kind of a big price, but if you know you're going to use these shades, then I think it's completely worth it. It's such good quality. I haven't had a problem with really anything, except for this one goes a little bit navy on me, but I mean, yeah, they're great shades. Work really well. And again, I have a full review on this. Anything that I have a full review for, I'm just going to link it below. And this little guy was from the Dollar Tree, but it actually works pretty well. I've made some really nice, more subtle looks with this. You know I'm a purple lover. My purple hair is fading, sadly, but yeah, I've used this a few times. It does have that grandma perfume smell to it. But it is good if you're on a budget and you just want something that will blend easily. You don't want like a punch in your face pigment. Like, this will go on well. It will blend well. It is worth it. It is. And a couple of sort of single eyeshadows. These are 2 cream eyeshadows in a liquid. These 2 are from e.l.f. These are their long-lasting, lustrous eyeshadows. Great alliteration there for you. So this one is in the shade Soiree, which is this really nice sort of mauve shade right there. I prefer this one over the next one I'm going to show you, which is in the shade Confetti. Confetti is this sort of white shade here. This one's kind of chunky. It doesn't have the same consistency. Like, I think you can tell that it looks kind of chunky. It just doesn't. I was hoping that I could use this as a nice all over the lid shimmer or as like an inner corner highlight or something, but it's just a little too chunky for that, honestly. And of course we have the Stila Magnificent Metals. I'm probably going to pick up another shade of this, I just haven't decided which. This is in Diamond Dust and it's a great silver shade, so it'll pretty much go with anything. I can use it all over the lid, I can use it as a liner, I can use it like very, very finely in the crease, whatever. They just work really, really well. They last a long time. I never get fallout on my face throughout the day from them. Would highly recommend this. I know that they're about 30 bucks and you don't get like a ton in here. It's deceptive because of this huge block, but the product is in the center part here. So I don't think you're getting quite that much, but yeah. I've got some eyebrow products. I've got the Essence Make Me Brow, which is this little kind of a brow gel that has little fibers in it. It kind of looks like it's hairy, that's the fibers. And I can use this on my own if I'm going for like a really natural look, or I just layer it over whatever brow product I have in. Today I'm using my Tartelette palette to fill in my brows because there's a couple of shades in there that just work really well for me. This is the Mariposa Auto Eyebrow Pencil, which again, it was from the Dollar Tree. And I've used quite a bit of it, but there's still quite a bit left. And obviously the tip won't stay sharp with these kinds of pencils, but it is very creamy, very pigmented, it goes on well. And if you make a mistake, it's easy to smudge it away. And this is from No Cosmetics. This is the No Bare Brows, and it's a universal brow pencil. Mine obviously needs to be sharpened because I'm lazy. So you've got the brow color on one end and then a clear wax on the other. They do give you a sharpener to go with it, as well as a spoolie. The spoolie I don't really like because it's one of those weird combs. It's not an actual spoolie. But this works pretty well, except for that it is very, very waxy, so I actually find that it pins my hairs down as I go through, which I don't necessarily want with the color. The wax fine, but sometimes I still want to have the ability to comb through after I've drawn on. A couple of eyeliners here. I have two from e.l.f. One is their Intense Ink eyeliner, which is this really huge fat marker. This makes it really, really easy if you're a beginner because it's pretty stiff. Therefore, you're not going to make huge mistakes with the tip wobbling back and forth. And I've had that for honestly almost about a year, and it's still not dried out. But I probably should get rid of it because I've had it for that long. And this is one of their cream eyeliners. I do have one in black, but I thought I'd show you this one. This is their turquoise one that has a little bit of glitter in it, and it's really nice and creamy. These go on really, really well. And again, this one hasn't dried out yet. I haven't had it as long as that one, but it's still as creamy as when I first got it, so. This is the LA Colors liquid eyeliner that I used in my Dollar Tree video. It comes with a really fine tip, although I did notice that it started bending on me the last time I used it. And it already sounds like it's almost empty, which I haven't used it that much, so. And lastly, this is a deluxe size of the Tattoo Liner by Kat Von D. I'm wearing this as eyeliner today, and I'm very impressed with it. It just glides on so smoothly. I really, really like it. I wish it were cheaper for a full size because I'm not sure I'm willing to pay that much just for an eyeliner, but it is really, really nice, and it does go on super easily. I think beginners would have great luck with this too. I have a couple of mascaras here that were new to me this year. I haven't had great luck with mascara this year, to be honest. I did have a couple of e.l.f. mascaras earlier in the year, which I did not like. One of them was the volumizing and lengthening mascara, which I think that was the one that irritated my eyes, and it may have had wheat germ in it, which I am not good with gluten, so may have been that. And another one, I can't think of the other one, but it was something to do with volumizing. I'll post it here if I can think of it. And it was okay, it was better than the other one, but it still wasn't great. And then I have these two Wet n Wild ones here. This is the Mega Length Mascara. This is fine. It's got a rubber wand that's very, very short and spiky. So the spikes aren't long enough to really poke you in the eye or anything. And it's very, very flexible. This is best layered on top of something else. It doesn't work great on its own, unless you're just doing your lower lashes, in which case that's fine. This is the Megaplump mascara. And it does have a natural bristle wand, slightly flexible, but not really. This is super dry, though. I actually thought it was dried out when I got it, but no, there is product there, and it is coming off on the wand. It's just really, really dry that it looks like it's not doing anything at all. It's not black. It goes on like that horrible sort of charcoal color that a lot of mascaras look like, and so it's not impressive, not at all. Like, that's another one that I feel like you should put on first and then put on maybe a wetter mascara after, which that's what I did today. I put on this, and then I put on the Urban Decay Troublemaker mascara, which this packaging is cool. That's one thing I like about it, I guess. So you open it up. Who thought this was a good idea for a wand? That hurts. That looks like a torture device, does it not? Like, when you're wiggling that through your lashes, it actually does kind of hurt. Mascara should not hurt. It should not. And it smells... It smells horrible. I've never smelled a mascara quite like this. Almost makes you wonder, should I be putting this on my eyes? Well, I've put it on my eyes about 3 times now. Nothing terrible has happened. I think there are fibers in here, actually, but I'm not sure what purpose they serve other than to make your lashes look clumpy and flaky. In other words, I don't like this. No. I also have this eyelash curler. Mechanical eyelash curler from e.l.f. It was $1. Yeah. There's a reason why it was $1. This thing doesn't do shit. Doesn't do anything. Yeah. I actually saw that some people were buying this just to get the replacement pads for their other eyelash curlers. Great job, e.l.f. Okay, and lip products. What do I have here? Let's start with this thing. This is No My Lips Are Sealed Lipstick Top Coat by No Cosmetics. So you shake it up. It sounds like nail polish, right? And then you take this thing out. It's kind of this flat paddle, and you put it over your existing lipstick. Let's say it's a bullet lipstick, but you want it to last longer, and it'll kind of make it into a matte long wear lipstick, which is cool. It actually does work pretty well. I think it might be getting old because the last time I put it on, it just kind of felt oily and it didn't dry down completely. Either that or maybe I put too much on. I don't know. This is a deluxe size of the Bite Multi-Stick in Mochi, which is this nice dark red. It smells nice and citrusy. It does take a minute for this to kind of warm up to your skin and glide on properly, otherwise it feels very stiff at first, but it does eventually glide on the way it should. This is a little bit on the dry side in terms of its comfort level, but it does last quite well, and the color is really nice. I'm not a fan of this. This again was from the birthday gift at Sephora this year. This is the Tarte Creamy Matte Lip Paint in the shade Birthday Suit. It smells like peppermint, which is nice. I love the shade, and it's weird because it never dries down completely, and yet it feels drier than any matte liquid lipstick I've ever tried. So I'm not a fan of that formula, but if I can find that color in something else, then I will definitely try that. This is the Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit in the shade Berry Recognize. It's a nice dark berry shade here. I've worn this quite a bit. I would definitely look at getting some other shades of this because it's only about $6 here. The easiest place for me to get it is actually on well.ca because a lot of the drugstores and places near me do not sell Wet n Wild. And if they do sell Wet n Wild, it's really old products, nothing new like this, even though this is not new. This is from, what, 2016 now? Yeah, our Wet n Wild supply in Canada is not great. But these liquid lipsticks are just as good as any other liquid lipstick. This particular one does get a little streaky, but you can fix that with a little touch-up in the places where it's not quite as pigmented. This is the Ciate London Glitter Flip in the shade Fortune. These are really awesome. They're a little bit difficult to apply just because I do find that the wand is kind of fuzzy and it collects a little bit too much product on some areas and not others. Therefore, I tend to grab a lip brush and kind of line the outline of my lips first and then go in the center with the actual wand. I do have a video on that, which I will link below. This is the Milani Color Statement lipstick in Red Label. I accidentally smushed it against the lid, so it does have the tip kind of worn off. You can actually see it in the lid down at the bottom there. It's a beautiful color and it smells like watermelon, which I'm actually, I hate watermelon. I'm in the minority on that. But this stuff, if you do not blot it, will get everywhere. so just be careful about that. I'm not sure about other colors from this line, but this one is terrible. I filmed a whole video one day, and this got all over my teeth, and I had to refilm, which was a pain in the butt. And this is the e.l.f. soft matte lipstick or something like that. I can't remember. In Fuchsia Fantasy. You know me in bright pinks. I love bright pink. So this is great. And this actually came free with my e.l.f. order. So, and just a warning to my fellow Canadians, if you order from the e.l.f. website, you may get hit with duty fees. I got hit with almost 20 bucks worth of duty fees. I'm just telling you in advance. And this is the LA Colors Lip Gloss and Lipstick Duo, which I wore in my Dollar Tree video. It does get a little dry throughout the day, but otherwise it's really, really nice. And this is what I'm wearing today. This is the NYX Liquid Suede Cream Lipstick in the shade Retro. No, that's the French name. It's Vintage. This is the one that I was trying to swatch in my huge lip swatch video, but it had gone bad or something. It had separated and gotten really, really liquidy. But as you can see, I have a new one, and this is what the color looks like. I love this color. It's beautiful. So those are all the different beauty things that I have on hand right now that I tried. Trying to think. Oh yeah, the Fenty foundation. I hated that. Luckily it was just a sample. I did not buy it, so I did not even have to worry about returning it. If you saw that video, then you know why I hated it. It made my skin look so dry. Like it literally aged me about at least 10 years because it cracked everywhere on my skin. The color was really weird. Like both 100 and 110 in the store, I was trying them both, and they were both this weird combination of yellow-orange, and I'm not sure if it was because they're both too dark. Like, I'm not sure. I've heard that the latest shades are NC10 and NW10 in MAC terms, and I'm definitely lighter than that, so that could be why. But 40 shades is still really impressive. It is. It's just kind of strange that there are so many warm shades. For one thing, like every video I watch is like, that looks so yellow. I don't know. The Jouer foundation, again, that was really bad for my skin actually. I broke out worse than I ever have from any product this year because of that. Like I had this huge cystic pimple coming through on my chin afterwards. I had just different scattered acne around my face. I'm not sure what was in that disagreed with my skin, but it was horrible. I tried an Urban Decay Vice lipstick top coat. You know, the glitter ones for your lips. It burned my lips so horribly that I had to return it as soon as possible. Yeah, that did not go well. I just wanted something glittery for the holidays, and I thought, well, that'll be fine because I have, you know, one of the Ciate glitter flips. Why not try a Vice special effects top coat? That'll be fine. So the ingredients must not be anywhere near similar in order for that to have given me a reaction like that. That hurt. I had to put a cold compress on my lips afterwards. That hurt. I think that's about it. I haven't tried anything else really. So that's it for beauty, I believe, except for like skincare and body care, but you've seen most of that in my favorite skincare body care video. So now we will move on to movies and games, video games. So first up, movies. Where I live, we don't have access to all of the smaller indie movies and stuff. So all of the awards movies are kind of coming out right now. We don't have them here, sadly. So I can't say whether or not I would have liked those and whether or not they would have been my favorites of the year and whatnot. But earlier releases from the year and things like that. My favorite movies of the year are definitely A Silent Voice, which is an anime film. That's a really beautiful anime film about bullying, and its effects not only on the person who is bullied, but the person who's doing the bullying. It's an amazing film. I hope that it gets nominated for an Academy Award because a lot of people need to see it. And I always feel like anime films get left out when it comes to these big Hollywood awards. People never take them seriously. But this is a really amazing and touching film that takes its subject matter very seriously, and more people need to see it. Get Out was really, really great. And again, I feel really bad that more people aren't taking it seriously vis-a-vis the Golden Globes nominating it in the musical or comedy category. There is humor in it, there is, but it's not a comedy, it's not. And I feel bad that the distributor would have even entered it into that category without telling Jordan Peele. That just, to me, is so wrong on so many levels. It's definitely a genre film, and it reminds me a lot of a sort of Twilight Zone episode. If you've seen it, you'll probably get that vibe too. And it's definitely very relevant in any day and age, but especially this one where there's so much divide between us in any country, especially the US though. And I hope that you do get a chance to see it if you haven't seen it already. If you have seen it, I hope you enjoyed it and tell me your thoughts about it. It Comes at Night was an excellent horror film that not a lot of people in terms of audiences enjoyed. Critics seemed to like it, but audiences were a little let down by it, I think because they were like, nothing came at night, you know? It's not really about seeing anything scary. It's more about the humans and how they interact with each other. And that caused a lot of tension and build up. And I did think that they handled that really well. It is scary in that sense because you don't know if what they're doing is right. You don't know if what they're doing is wrong. And you don't know if you would do the same in that situation. It's kind of like how I talked about something similar in my review of The Last of Us game. TV shows, a lot of great TV shows ended this year for me. Sherlock appears to have ended in 2017. That was one of my favorite series, as was Orphan Black, which again, it ended. Definitively, it ended. Broadchurch ended. And Broadchurch, its last season, was again incredibly relevant, and not just for now, but always. If you haven't seen Broadchurch season 3, definitely check it out. Especially really important with everything that's going on with women being very afraid to step forward with claims of sexual harassment and rape. Preacher is always really good. Season 2 was excellent. One of my favorite shows I watched this year was an anime. It was called Made in Abyss, which had a really excellent, if very deceptive, art style to it. It was all done in chibi art styling, which means that they're all quite small and, you know, like rounded features, very childlike. Well, few main characters were children, but they make you think that it's going to be kind of a kids show, very cute. A lot of creepy and unsettling things happen in that show that's hard to watch, and definitely left me feeling like, oh, what just happened to those kids? It was quite the show, and I'm looking forward to season 2, which hopefully we get. It's definitely not finished. I know the manga isn't finished yet. Video games, my game of the year was Persona 5, for sure. I've been a huge fan of the Persona series for years, and the 5th one, in my opinion, is the best so far. Closely followed by Persona 3, but Persona 5 was just so stylish, so slick. I love the characters, love the gameplay, love the new addition to the gameplay. I love the art style so much in this one. And I played it for probably around 100 hours before I beat the game. And again, you can go back and you can get more gameplay out of it by starting a new game plus. And so I always appreciate games that have replay value. I also played Undertale on PS4 this year. Actually didn't play it on Steam, so this was my first time playing it, and it was so charming and so cute. I love the humor in it. I love the art style. It really harkens back to the old like SNES era of RPGs. A very different RPG, but very, 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 very adorable. I loved it. Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, which I did a whole review on. I wish that game had been a little bit longer and that they delved a little bit more into the villain, but otherwise it was a really great game. Absolutely beautiful. I can't wait for The Last of Us 2. I don't know if they're planning on doing any more Uncharted games, but I'm always up for what Naughty Dog offers. If you'd like any full reviews on any of the movies, television shows, or video games I mentioned, please let me know and I'd be more than willing to do so. I think that's about it. I probably missed something, but I can't remember right now. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know what were some of your favorite things of 2017 or least favorite things. Let me know below. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.